you are not confused, you are not lazy, and definitely you are not incapable. But something feels off, not dramatically off, just subtly misaligned. And if you are a high achieving professional, that subtle misalignment can go unnoticed for years, because you can still perform, you can still lead, you can still deliver results. So the question becomes, if I am still succeeding, why does this feel heavier than it should? Today I am going to give you 5 clear signs you may be experiencing identity performance misalignment, not burnout, not incompetence, misalignment. And by the end of this, you will know whether what you are feeling is exhaustion or evolution. Let's start with the first sign. Number 1, you are performing well, but you feel emotionally detached. You are hitting targets, meeting deadlines, leading conversations, but internally you feel like you are watching yourself perform. There is no emotional resonance, no sense of ownership, just execution. It is like you are playing a role you have mastered, but no longer connect with. High achievers are especially vulnerable here, because your competence masks your disengagement. Other people see excellence, you feel emptiness. That gap matters. Sign number 2, your success feels heavier than it used to. When you first stepped into this role, it stretched you, it energized you. Now it drains you. Not because it is harder, but because it no longer fits. Responsibilities that once felt like growth now feel like maintenance. And maintenance without meaning is exhausting. This is where many professionals mislabel the problem as I just need a break, because breaks do not fix structural misalignment. They temporarily reduce friction. Then the friction returns. Sign number 3, you fantasize about escape, but not with clarity. This is important. You catch yourself thinking, I could just resign. I should change industries. Maybe I need something completely different. But when you try to define what that different is, it is vague. That vagueness tells you something. It means you do not want to run towards something. You want to run away from something. And running away without diagnosis is often leads to the next misaligned role. High achievers do not need impulsive exits. They need strategic recalibration. Sign number 4, you feel increasingly irritable or emotionally numb at work. This one is subtle. You used to care deeply. Now you feel shorter in meetings, less patient, less invested, or worse, indifferent. Not because you have become cynical, but because sustained misalignment creates internal resistance. When your values and your environment drift apart, your nervous system notices before your mind does. And that shows up as tension, detachment, or quiet resentment. This is not a character flaw, it is data. Sign number 5, you have outgrown the version of yourself that chose this path. This one is the deepest. 5 years ago, this role made sense. It aligned with your ambition, your priorities, your identity at the time. But you are not the same person. Your capacity expanded, your values refined, your definition of success matured, and yet you are still operating from an outdated professional identity. That internal discrepancy is exhausting. It's like trying to fit into clothes tailored for your past self. They technically still fit, but they restrict your movement. Now, here is where we need to be precise. Misalignment does not automatically mean quit. It does not automatically mean pivot. And it definitely does not mean burn everything down. It means investigate. Let's zoom out. Burnout from overwork says, I need rest. Identity performance misalignment says, I need a recalibration. Those are different prescriptions. If you treat misalignment like overwork, you will keep taking breaks that don't solve the root. If you treat evolution like failure, you will shame yourself into staying stuck. And high achievers are very good at shaming themselves. You say things like, I should be grateful. Other people would love this role. I worked too hard to get here. Yes, and you are allowed to evolve beyond what you once worked for. Growth does not invalidate your past decisions. It updates them. Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine your GPS recalculating. You set the destination years ago. You started driving. But somewhere along the way, your priorities changed. If you ignore the recalculation and keep driving the original route, you will end up somewhere technically correct, but internally wrong. Misalignment is your internal GPS recalculating. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it gets. First as subtle discomfort, then as emotional fatigue, then as full burnout. Now, here is the empowering part. Misalignment is diagnosable. It is not mystical. It is not dramatic. It is strategic. When professionals work through this intentionally, in 4 to 6 weeks, they can gain clarity on whether they need reinvention or realignment. They can diagnose the root of their professional misalignment, identify their next aligned strategic move, and build a transition roadmap that protects income, credibility, and identity. Not through impulsivity, through precision. Let's recap your 5 signs. You are performing well but emotionally detached. Your successes feels heavier than it should. You fantasize about escape without clarity. You feel irritable, numb, or quietly resistant. And you have outgrown the version of yourself that chose this path. If 3 or more of these resonate, you are not broken. You are evolving. And evolution requires recalibration. Tomorrow, we are breaking down the difference between burnout and misalignment. So you stop misdiagnosing yourself and start making intelligent moves. Because the goal is not to abandon success. It is to build success that reflects who you truly are now. You do not need hype. You need alignment. I will see you in the next one.